One of my favorite campaigns is, of course, Judge Carla Baldwin's. That was not just historical, but it was straight grassroots from the ground up.
BusinessJournalDaily.com 3 Minutes With is brought to you by Farmers National Bank.
Save, borrow, and invest with Farmers. Take heart knowing you're helping create a strong community. Mind your money at Farmers. Talk directly to local decision makers about your loans, investments, and insurance. Farmers, fiercely local, fiercely loyal.
Here's some of the more interesting figures that, A, you worked for directly as a consultant, and B, who you encountered through that role.
That's interesting. It wasn't always as a consultant. Some of the people that I work with even when I was still on staff with AFSCME, because I took on a lot of political work as a staff representative. Yeah. I was also lead staff in charge of political activity for Mahoning and Columbiana counties for probably 10, 12 years when I was still at Council 8 before I retired. But one of the people who I think I worked with directly and I really got to know well, and I, to this day, truly have the utmost respect for, is former Governor Ted Strickland. And then, you know, as time progressed, and particularly after I started doing this work more of on a full-time basis as a consultant and not just helping out or working the campaign or being loaned out by the union, because that's what would happen, right. You know. And after you've been pretty successful and they figured you know what you're doing, then all of a sudden people are asking, hey, can you loan Jaladah out? Can we have her for the end of the campaign, you know? So I did that for, you know, several campaign cycles. I did it with President Obama's first campaign. I actually was a faith coordinator for this area. Did that with John Kerry's campaign for president. So there was a lot of different cases, a lot of different campaigns that I worked. But when I started consulting, some of the people, one of my favorite campaigns is, of course, Judge Carla Baldwin's. That was not just historical, but it was straight grassroots from the ground up. You know, this was her first time ever venturing into the political arena, and she trusted me, and I had to run the entire campaign. And even though it was local, that meant fundraising, that meant everything. Nobody wants to talk about this a lot, but a lot of the really controversial scandals and political corruption in this area was all Democrats. And, you know, at some point, you got to be accountable and you have to be responsible for that. And where I blame the party, which I'm a part of, is not saying, hey, we just can't do that. We're just not going to do that. We're not going to support someone who's been indicted. We're not going to get behind someone, you know, who's got all these issues going on. Instead of saying, okay, this is the incumbent, and we're gonna support them, even though, you know, they've got pending legal cases.
BusinessJournalDaily.com 3 Minutes With is brought to you by Farmers National Bank.
Save, borrow, and invest with Farmers. Take heart knowing you're helping create a strong community. Mind your money at Farmers. Talk directly to local decision makers about your loans, investments, and insurance. Farmers, fiercely local, fiercely loyal.